Hey guys, welcome to Mother Mary's Apothecary. My name is Valerie, I'm your host. Very honored to be here posting again on the channel. And before I forget, I will mention to hit the like button and hopefully subscribe so that we can stay in constant communication as the channel grows and progresses. So, I wanted to talk about catnip. Yeah, that's right, catnip. I don't actually have any cats, which is one of the funny things about it. But I was at the local gardening store, and this was earlier in the season, and just felt this strong attraction and desire to grow catnip. And if you're not familiar, catnip is a perennial plant that originates in Europe, Central Asia, the Middle East, certain parts of China, and also now grows in the northern hemisphere and in the States, which is where I'm located, and it is part of the mint family, right? Uh, And for those of you who do have feline friends, you will be most likely familiar with the side effects or the euphoric side effects, I should say, that catnip has on felines. And, it really gets them into a very ecstatic state. They look like they're high, they're tripping, and really having a good time. And maybe that's what I was most attracted to. I thought, hey, don't we all need a little catnip in our life? And that's kind of a great segue into recommending catnip for us humans during the month of August, and what we call in particular right now the Lion's Gate portal. Okay, now I did a little research on catnip. It has this euphoric effect on most cats, although not all of them. And however, one fun fact was that catnip actually also works with wild cats, or lions, tigers. Again, not 100%, but by and large, tend to enjoy the euphoric effects of this plant, which I just can't help but smile and think, of a lion or a tiger in an ecstatic kind of stretch or roar from indulging in catnip. Nature is just fabulous. So, anyway, planted this catnip, and there goes my card flying, so I guess I'll pick it up now. Because speaking of cats, this is my segue into what's happening astrologically, and the portal that I mentioned, which is the Lionsgate portal, which really starts to happen at the end of July into mid-August, but really peaks. It just peaked a few days ago on the 8th, right? And August is the 8th month of the year. So you've got the synchromistic numerology effects of the numerology, right? The 8, and we can talk about what that symbolizes. But where was I going with this? Yeah, so with the catnip in August, what an auspicious time to see how this particular plant could aid us or benefit us in its relationship to the auspicious opportunity of the Lion's Gate portal that is happening. Okay, so just stick with me for a little while. This is more of a informal conversation we're having, and I want to just throw out a bunch of interesting ideas that can make for awesome conversation. And so we've got a plant that causes a very euphoric effect and a portal that has to do with our relationship to the sun and the sun's position to Sirius. Okay? And Sirius is a binary star system. It's not just one single star. That in Greek means glowing, glowing, like a luminous glowing, light in our night's sky. And its relationship to Canis Major, Alpha Canis Major, which is Sirius, also known as the dog star. Its relationship to Canis Major and Orion's belt. So, just really quickly, we've got a lot of astrological connections between Leo, the sun, and the star system known as Sirius, or the dog star. And literally, cats and dogs. And our relationship to these planets and their positions, and how the energy allows us to expand, in particular this time of the year, our consciousness to expand, and for us to really hone in on courage, strength. What's another good one? Not just physical strength. This really refers to a mental and strength of character. And I'm holding the Major Arcana Strength card, where this maiden is, got the jaws of a lion firmly held in her hands, and the strength that she has over this beast, which really represents the more I'm going to say bestial, the lower chakras, or the lower realms, and how we can, tune in to a higher frequency, right? So when we have the capacity to overcome the more base tendencies and frequencies that can very much overwhelm us, worry us, frustrate us. In fact, the sun and the seat of our battery in this biomechanical, bioelectric body is the solar plex, right? Solar plex. And this is really where we store in the Manipura chakra our energy. And so when we have this opportunity, such as the Lion's Gate portal, to really take a hold of, and I'm doing this because it's, and I actually shouldn't rip. What's really interesting is it's not through physical force alone. In fact, it's more by mental fortitude that we are able to overcome. And that's why, in the symbology of the card, the maiden is able to have strength over this lion. So mastering, again, that more animalistic. And I tread carefully when I use these words, because nature and all of its beauty and all of its creatures, all of its sentient beings, have their own intelligence, and by no means am I suggesting that this is a a message to dominate the natural world, but rather to dominate ourselves and that which we find ourselves struggling with. Okay, so this is not about dominating Mother Earth or nature. Quite the opposite. We are stewards of this planet, and if anything, we should be of the utmost. We should express the utmost kindness to sentient beings who are highly intelligent in many different ways, and though not the same as us, as worthy of the utmost respect, care, compassion. So there you go, 7-day vegan challenge. I will throw in with that. But long story short, here we are at this particular time and place in astrologically and where we can really have the opportunity to build and expand. And so if you are feeling, creative juices flowing, if you're feeling inspired and you really want to project that so that it can grow and expand in your own life. So what I mean by that are creative projects, things that you're looking to launch. This is an opportune time right now, especially up until the 12th of August. We've got a couple more days to really visualize and do those affirmations so you're very much in tune with what is happening in the macro as well as in the microcosmic sense. And so getting back to my catnip, catnip is not just for our feline friends. In fact, it has a long history of medicinal usage for humans. And in particular, it can be used, like if you've seen some of the other videos or podcasts, most of the time these plants are really fabulous as herbal teas or tisane infusions. Also, as oils, or they can be distilled. And when we ingest catnip, we can also benefit from its very euphoric effects. In fact, it can have a very sedative effect for us humans, and it can be extremely not only sedative and relaxing, but in particular, it works on, again, these issues with the GI tract. So gut issues, in particular, digestive problems, gas, bloating. It has that carminative effect as other plants do. You can watch some of the podcasts on, dandelion, for example, is one of them. But it actually targets the gut, which, as mentioned, the solar plexus is where we hold most of our, it's our solar power, it's our willpower, it's our driving force. But, when you've got those butterflies in your stomach, knots in your stomach, right here is where we hold those anxieties and frustrations, those worries, and restlessness, which is, what can give us irritable bowels, and, the irritable bowel syndrome, the indigestion, the, diarrhea, constipation, etc. And so the catnip is actually a phenomenal natural remedy for that. So it's a sedative, it has relaxant properties, it and it can really soothe the stomach. It also has a soothing effect on like menstrual cramps. So again, menstruation. I had a bunch of other, really high in antioxidants, and the oil itself as well is a great natural insecticide. And cramping. And so when you think of a time where you're really trying to expand and grow, right? We're reaching this peak, this zenith, this height of heat here in the northern hemisphere in August, and really the essence of the sun and within all its glory, and the energy that it gives us, the burst of energy that it gives us, that young energy can be really balanced out with the yin energy, the cooling, sedative, also associated with the sacred feminine effect of catnip and catnip tea. You can make that into an iced tea. I think that would be one of my favorite recipes. I might post something in the comments below, some cool links, recipes for an iced tea, catnip iced tea, if you're really looking for a sedative effect. Very calming, very soothing, and which will put you in a euphoric, relaxed state where you're able to receive, okay? Because in order to expand and to grow, you have to be in a receptive state, which is why I myself, wanted to do this, like kind of, we always assume that strength has to do with physical fortitude, and there's something to be said about that. Clearly, Mother Nature has provided all of the natural remedies we need for boosting immunity, right? Big topic right now. Boosting our immunity naturally against bacteria, viruses, infection, etc. But also gives us a natural remedy to combat mental anxiety. And long story short, as we go in through this portal, what comes out on the other side is going to really be determined by our intentions. Our intention, and ultimately, as important, is the action that supports that intention, or the intention that supports the action. And that's where I want to talk about the cycle that is reflected in the 8 major arcana card. It has to do with the patterns and cycles of things. And what's really important right now for us to grow as individuals, but also as an aggregate, as a group, as a collective of holy beings, is to understand how we are all connected and how we all, affect each other, right? So what we do to ourselves affect others, and vice versa. And recognizing the patterns, or the samskaras, right? The patterns, or samskaras as it's known in Sanskrit, that actually keep us bound or frustrated or feeling insufficient or weak, as opposed to strong, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So, as we get really into these dog days of summer, and there's some great mythology with the dog days of summer. Sirius, the dog star, right? That's where that saying comes from. And all the ancient mystery school traditions, all the ancient civilizations, which are very much in tune with Sirius and the dog star and the Lionsgate portal. whether it's the ancient Egyptians, the Dogons of Mali and today's West Africa, the Vedas. It's just repeating itself in all these ancient mystery schools, and all these ancient histories, in ancient, Mesopotamia. So we want to remember that. It's actually, when I think of the word remember, meaning to remember means to put back together, which is what the Isis does with Osiris. She remembers him. She puts him back together. And so all of these associations can help us in a very modern, contemporary sense of, how does that fit into my life? Well, if you have the intention to launch something great, beautiful, bountiful, and you want to find the strength to do that, this is a very opportune time to align your intentions with the greater cosmos, as our ancestors did, and to find natural remedies. There goes my strength card again. To find the natural remedies that the divine has provided in nature for us, and have some fun while you're at it. Hey, not just our feline friends tripping on some catnip, but us too can have some fabulous fun with this plant. So look up it. I always want to advise for you interested to look at some of the contradictory or side effects of ingesting anything, including a plant medicine. Just because it's a plant doesn't mean that, in fact, it's just as potent, if not more, than its synthetic version. And also, in particular, that reminds me that you also want to be aware of the way any kind of pharmaceuticals that you're on can interact with natural herbal medicine. So, and I'll post a little bit more on that in the comments below with some tips. But by and large, this is a very safe plant that for most people has a wonderful soothing effect. It can help with restless nights. It can help with sleeplessness and insomnia. It can help with those jitters and nerves that you may be experiencing. Also, that irritability that can really, increase tenfold when it is physically hot out there. Okay, try a cooling catnip tea. Do be aware that it can also make you a little drowsy. So again, being wise about how you practice your spiritual alchemy and your plant medicine, as is true with all all supplements and foods, etc. But I just thought that would be really fun to kind of explore how you can use and grow things in your garden every day, to really tune in to some of the most esoteric and highest teachings that have been around forever, probably, because there is nothing new under the sun. It's just remembering it, right? And that's our great journey, and that's part of our biggest purpose in life is to remember who we are, where we come from, the stars, the divine, right? And so many fun ways to do that. So start with catnip, right? Don't forget your feline friends. I don't know what kind of effect it has on dogs, speaking of these dog days of summer and the dog star Sirius. So if anybody does know, I'd love to hear from you. Again, be careful if your furry babies are on any kind of pharmaceuticals. Make sure that nothing would counteract. And also, final message, please do not infuse the catnip that you are buying for your friend furry babies in the pet store. one would hope and want to think that anything that is given to be ingested to our animal babies are suitable for us humans, but err on the side of caution and grow yourself some catnip in the garden, rinse it, use it. You can use it fresh. I forgot to mention that. I'm actually going to try a fresh tea, herbal tea with it, but if it's in its fresh, a fresh state, then, crush it and press it so that the oil in particular in the plant is secreted, because that's where the magic is. And then of course you can dry it, hang it upside down, dry it in a dry, dark, cool place, and then have it in a tea like that, about 20 leaves or so. And again, I'll post some recipes, but anyway, let me know if you enjoy some of these seemingly random but actually very synchromistic teachings that remind us on a daily basis of how holy, healthy, and happy we can be, because that's what we're all about here at Mother Mary's Apothecary. Let me know if you have any questions, post comments, and I'll see you soon. So be well, be holy, be healthy, and be happy. Join us again, subscribe, hit the like button, and if you'd like to book a private virtual appointment with me, Valerie, to schedule your tarot reading, do not hesitate. Just write to info@MotherMary'sApothecary.com. We'll connect, we'll schedule you, and it will be a tool for you to empower yourself. That's really the goal of the tarot readings that I do with clients. And they can be quick, they can be more in-depth. I have a whole series of tarot readings that complement wellness readings, where we can go back and explore whether it's from past lives, or not just past lives, but current life impressions that may be holding us back or keeping us stuck, and how we can all grow in our lives, personally, professionally, romantically. So if you have questions about that, you can find more information on those type of readings again at MotherMary'sApothecary.com. Be holy, be healthy, be happy, and stay tuned with me, Valerie, at Mother Mary's Apothecary. Peace, 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 peace. May all sentient beings be happy, and most importantly, be free.